Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing tonight. MSG, the New York Knicks, put on a professional performance, a beatdown, holding the Portland Trail Blazers to just 84 points off an early OG Anunoby explosion. The starters got to rest. Feel good vibes all around as the Knicks now go 7 games above 500 and in the 4th seed as 5 in a row. The OG New York Knicks era is buzzing right now. Salute to the chat, salute replay squad. Let's get ready to chop this thing up with the best chat in the biz tonight. It was a feel-good win with 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. The entire starting unit, including OG Anunoby, who was the final player subbed out from Tom Thibodeau. We're going to give out his grade along with all of our Knick heroes, and we'll look at the road ahead like we always do. We give out the grades with the chat, but welcome into the post-game live with CT, and we're buzzing right now. 4th seed, the Magic took a loss tonight. We're going to look at the road ahead. For anyone that doesn't know, the Orlando Magic lost, so the Knicks now 22-15 are in the sole 4th seed for the night, ladies and gentlemen, as we have an off day tomorrow. Then we hit the road for a 2-game stretch in Dallas, and then against Memphis with no Ja Morant. Prayers up to Ja Morant, whose season is over. That game got easier for the Knicks, but Dallas is going to be tricky. We'll talk about that. But tonight, man, the key takeaway was OG Anunoby's early first quarter explosion. 16 points. You heard correctly. 16 points in the first quarter. 3 ball was on the money, stretching it out from the corner 3. The New York Knicks shooting 50+% from the corners. Also, he was flashing his game off the dribble, like you see here. Put him in the spin cycle, took it to the rack, strong. And OG Anunoby finished with 23 points off a very solid night, top scored. For the Knicks, tonight the key theme was balanced scoring, really. No one really needed to take over. Shout out to Julius and Brunson, got the ball moving. The other key takeaway that I loved was Deuce McBride and Quentin Grimes continue to look amazing coming off the New York Knicks bench. A lot of talk, was made on future moves, upgrades, and all of that. But these guys, hey, they're sitting here saying, hey, look at us, we can play. We can put the ball in the cup as well. Now, tonight was by Portland, of course, but you got to take care of business. That's exactly what the New York Knicks did tonight. I'm buzzing. I'm loving this situation right now. And the New York Knicks, held their team opponent to a record low for the season, 84 points, right? It was basically the Jeremy Grant one-man show. Wasn't very impressed by Scoot Henderson. He's obviously still a young player developing. Wasn't that impressed with Shadon Sharp. And I also thought we'd get a little bit more out of Anthony Simons. But credit to the New York Knicks defense. The defense, fam, is all the way back up. And courtesy of MSG Networks, this graphic lets you know coming into tonight, the New York Knicks over the last 4 games before tonight are ranked first in defensive rating, just 103.1. Tonight, 84 points from the opponent. That's going to be even better. Defensive rating, 103. Opponent's points, 100. And opponent's field goal, just 44%, with a +17 net rating, leading the NBA. And our defense is back up, baby, with the addition of this OG Anunoby trade. Let's talk about it, guys. Great statistic. OG Anunoby's shot chart as well. Look at that, man. All in the restricted area and then spaced out in both corners there, and the one mid-range that he missed as well. But we're going to dissect it and talk about it more. Obviously, for the team stats, though, tonight, the New York Knicks own the glass. I mean, absolute beatdown, courtesy of our bigs, 64-50 rebound-wise. The New York Knicks, another night, shooting 40+% from deep. tonight was 41% from the field, 38% from deep. But obviously there was 8 minutes of garbage time. So yeah, where to from here, guys? Is it ready to jump out the window? We're fourth seed. We're looking great. The chemistry looks excellent. The starting five, I would not touch it with a 10-foot pole right now. Don't talk to me about DeJounte Murray right now. Let this thing cook. Right, I'm riding the wave, fam. I'm happy. I'm riding this wave. Obviously, let's play some tougher opponents. We'll see. Dallas is going to be, interesting. Obviously, got the Kyrie Luka show. They're in talks for Pascal Siakam. But right now, man, let's just let this thing cook. Let's just see what ceiling this team currently has in terms of the starting five. Now, about the bench, yeah, we could, we can make an addition. That makes sense to me. Although I'm really proud of the guys, coming off the bench right now. Deuce McBride has been, a guy who's been itching, to showcase what he can do, and so is Quentin Grimes as well, who I do need to say are getting more reps. Both of those guys as well. Jack City with the super chat. Let's go, appreciate you. Knicks is 5 OGO New York for 2024. Yep, 5-0 OGO New York. Let's go, Jack City. Appreciate you for the super chat. Feeling good, OGO my. Yeah, I think this team was itching for, a little shake-up. We found the right ingredient. I'm really happy to see our former Knicks, thrive in in Toronto for the Raptors. But the trade's truly showing that it's benefiting both teams. And you don't get to see that very often. So we just tip our cap to the front office as well, especially for the addressing the big need, because OG Anunoby is really addressing the need we have defensively. We were struggling with Mitch down. He comes in, our defensive rating skyrockets, fam, back up where it needs to be. But the offense is also thriving as well. We don't take a back seat to anyone. Salute. Yeah, the Knicks have turned it around. This OG trade has worked so far. Yep, most definitely. And I think the East has got to be really looking at the Knicks now in terms of the Bucks, who we know are sliding, Philly, who we absolutely punked in their building, and then the Celtics. They've all got to be looking at the Knicks like saying, man, like we don't want to see them until the third round, man. JJ, what's good? Saying, yeah, Scoot is struggling. Definitely, it's tough playing for an awful team. But yeah, extended garbage time tonight. Firstly, we got to salute that. How often, ladies and gentlemen, do we get a huge extended garbage time? Well, we didn't even see Fournier. Could that mean that he's going to be in a trade very soon? Could it mean maybe Tom Thibodeau asked him respectfully, do you want to go in the game? Maybe he declined. Maybe Tom Thibodeau just decided to give the newer guys, and the young guys some more run as well. But yeah, big task we ate on the Blazers tonight. Off a night where we didn't really need to rely on Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle too much, although they did some really awesome things. The big key was obviously OG's start. 16 points in the first quarter, set the tone. Multiple three balls, had 4 threes in the first quarter, and then didn't hit another 3 for the rest of the game, but flashed his rest of his other game, which was driving to the rim, putting the ball on the deck, able to make good decisions, whether it's passing it back out or taking it strong and getting fouled as well. 4 rebounds, 2 of them offensive, 66% from deep, 9 of 12, 75% from the field, 23 points. Ladies and gentlemen, your player of the game, Knicks Buzz game ball, goes to OG Anunoby in just his 5th game as a New York Knick. He absolutely set the tone on this one. Yeah, and I was just really glad to see him, show out offensively. A guy who we know is capable of not just shooting the 3, but actually doing more with it. And he did that. Had a nice little spin cycle as we showed earlier. Um, and also, is an unselfish player. Was a little unselfish in the last game, but here he is, man, all smiles. Had the walk-off interview with Rebecca Harlow, and I salute OG Anunoby for his first game ball. As I ring that up, and we're going to go through the stats, give out his flowers. But yeah, enjoy this game ball, OG Anunoby. Salute. Winning ways right now. We're definitely in a situation where we can make so many different moves. Buzzer beater with maybe the comment of the night already. Me, CT, Luke C, and JJ and Big Task could beat Portland. Man, this one was a laugher. I'm glad everyone's in the good mood, enjoying it, lapping it up. Luke's gone with the OG already. Got ahead of the game, plus A++. Yep. 16 points in the first quarter. My best way to analyze it was obviously on certain nights, we got Batman, we got Robin, we got Alfred, and we got more. But on tonight, OG Anunoby was Batman early in the game. But because, Randall and Brunson pull gravity, and I'm glad that they were able to find OG early and get him into that rhythm. Because, new surroundings, new team, all of that stuff, and it can take a minute, to get your bearings with you. And OG Anunoby's hit the ground running defensively, we know. But it was just great to see tonight with a huge performance offensively and early in the game as well. It didn't need to come late in garbage time or none of that. This was the first quarter when the game was actually there to be won. Now, probably the best statistic of tonight that I can offer everyone is that OG Anunoby is a plus 111 now in his first 5 games as a New York Knick. And that's NBA history right there. First 5 games with a brand new team and a plus 111 plus minus in his first 5 games, which is absolutely blazing hot. Talk about, the right serum for whatever this team needed. And he's, basically a true impact player. And definitely Julius, I want to shout out him because he was really finding OG. Julius had some nice connections tonight with Quentin Grimes as well, who we're going to talk about when we get to them. But yeah, shout out to Juju for his 8 assists. That stood out to me a lot. iHeart's 14 boards once again. That stood out to me a lot. Like we said, we out-rebounded 65 to 51. Big time. Brunson 7 assists as well on just 12 points. Was still a plus 29 despite being inefficient. Shout out to Miles McBride once again, 6 of 13, 4 of 7 from 3, 16 points tonight. And Quentin Grimes finding his groove with a 3 ball, 4 of 9, blazing hot, 44%, 17 big ones on a plus 9 as well. So the bench is starting to really find its groove. The starting 5 is clicking as well. Yeah, what do you guys think about OG's demeanor? A lot's been talked about from the Raptors side. Gave me a little bit of a heads up that he is a quiet, humble dude. Just like JJ says, never see him really arguing. Yet head in the game, he stays focused as well, which is a calming influence, on the rest of the guys too. We know Brunson and Randall can get hot at times. So can Tibbs. Of course, what's good, coach? I want to see Deuce, Grimes, OG, Randall, iHeart. That's a good 5-man unit. Salute. Lockdown D with Deuce and Grimes and OG and Hart and iHeart. And also Randall offensively as well. And rebounding wise, that's great. Yeah, Luke, give him the bag. That's going to come. That's coming. Best believe that. Yep. Nick Yak, another good game out for Grimes and McBride. Yep. That's the feel-good story also coming out of this, as well as OG Anunoby. And our big guys being passive and moving the ball well. Ball movement was excellent tonight. And we didn't play with our food. I think this team has really turned the corner, fam, because, in years past, we would have seen this club, maybe teeter on a 10-point lead. Maybe they cut it to 6 or something. Man, tonight was just never in doubt. I mean, all you need to know is, the starters, sat for the entire fourth, and then OG Anunoby was the final guy to come out with 7 minutes remaining as well. So basically, guys like Precious, Archie Diacono, Malachi Flynn, those guys, Quentin Grimes, got to play but basically the entire fourth as well. So we salute Knicks Nation and enjoy this. This is good times ahead. As we're now in the 4th seed, like I said earlier, for anyone that's just coming through the building, the Heat, the Magic lost. The Heat didn't play today, but the key story was that the New York Knicks stay focused. We stay undefeated in 2024. Right? I don't want to go back to 2023 right now. I'm loving it in year 2024. Also, good news ahead. Jalen Brunson, the captain, named Player of the Week of the Eastern Conference on a 27 points per game average with 3 rebounds, 9 assists per game for week 11 of this season. Jalen Brunson, what can we say, man? I'll tell you what I can say is vote, ladies and gents. And with that said, another reminder to vote, get these guys in, and I'll put the link in the chat right now as we continue to chop this thing up with the best chatting in the biz. Give us your thoughts, your grades, we shout you out, and we keep it 100, right? Buzzer says OG is this year's Josh Hart or D Rose, an in-season pickup that helps us get wins. You said that, man, and I'm also looking ahead to the playoffs, and he's a big-time player for the playoffs. Best believe that. I don't really fear any matchup now, guys. I don't know about you guys, but who's going to fear you in the playoffs, right? We've got a guy that can stop Jimmy Butler. We've got a guy that can even guard Bam Adebayo on a small ball lineup if we need. We've got a guy who can play Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and lock them down. And we're damn sure got a guy that can lock down Tyrese Maxey and even switch on to Embiid if we need as well. So good times ahead, ladies and gentlemen. But the work is not done yet, because I do think Leon Rose is going to, add a couple of touches to this. He probably just wants to see this thing play out a little bit more. As you see OG Anunoby, man, swoop to the hoop. He was straight buzzing with this performance early. And like JJ said in the chat, I'm still learning a lot about OG Anunoby, but he's a guy who's like a Terminator, like I said in the last show. He doesn't care about, show emotions on the court. It's like next play, deflection, get it. Steal, get it. Put back jam, get it. Get the stop, get it. 3-point ball, get it. That's all he does, man. I love it so far. And it does look like he's going to get paid handsomely. Obviously, he's going to get paid, it looks like, by the New York Knicks. And rightfully so, man. He ain't going nowhere with this situation. So, also, yes, salute to Jalen Brunson, Eastern Conference Player of the Week. I think that's his second on the season. And Julius Randle has had 1 Eastern Conference Player of the Week as well. So that's our 2 All-Stars right there. And the link is in the chat. Replay squad, let's get it. Get him in. Fam, like Luke says, jar him. Yep, definitely. Eddie, what's good? Grimes should start viewing Reggie Miller videos. Constant movement to get off his shot. Grimes' handle is not great, too upright. But he should just move and look for the open shot all over the court. Yeah, the key is rhythm as well, as we're seeing with Grimes now. It's no coincidence that his percentage is going up with more reps with the bench lineup. And I thought Randall did a good job finding him. So did Brunson. Basically everyone, the ball was moving really well today. So yeah, feel good vibes all around. And we're about to give out the grades. Salute Knicks Nation, replay squad. Smash that like button. The streets are buzzing. And without further ado, let's hit on OG Anunoby's grade right there. We already gave him the game ball for his huge 23-point outburst early. 4 threes in the first quarter. That's amazing. They didn't really look for him in the second. He didn't even get a single point in the second quarter, but came alive in the third. And OG Anunoby put the ball on the floor. He was still unselfish at times, super efficient, 9 of 12. Got to the line twice, 2 offensive rebounds as well, had a couple of jams. One of them was reverse on a great feed from Josh Hart. Salute to that feed from Hart. And he's a guy who's showing us a little bit more. It's only been 5 games as well. As excited as we are, guys, there's more to come. So let that sink in as well. What's good, old head? Yep, we're undefeated in the new year and 5-0 since the trade, and 7 games above 500. Like Buzzer Beater said, this is a trade who we're familiar with Leon Rose's work. He waits to the halfway point or just before, looks at what this team needs, and he pounces, man. He does it straight out. He doesn't beat around the bush as well. He also saw the writing on the wall with, obviously Quickly's financial situation, other players around the league able to be traded by Jan 15. He got ahead of the curb and made sure this deal was done before other teams could start moving pieces. And then we could see what this team looks like and then make a second move as well. So, we read OG's stats. We'll continue to shout him out. But A+ performance, game ball, first as a New York Knick. And also he is a plus 111 in his first 5 games with his new team. That's an NBA record for a player with their new club in their first 5 games. So, right there, those numbers don't lie, man. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, as they say. 111 plus in his first 5 games. So, perfect player for this squad with Randall and with Brunson in terms of complementary skill set. I'll always root and support for and love Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett. Right, they spent far enough time with New York for me to always root for them and their success. And they brought us some great times. Won us some big games, some big moments. But this is a new era. It's a business, and Leon Rose made the move because he felt like this is going to push this club in a further direction to win some of this hardware you see on the screen there. I thought I'd add a nice touch and to commemorate some of the past wins of this franchise. That's what I want to get back to. Some of our fans are very young. They haven't been through experience winning, and actually winning hardware. That's what it's all about. That's why we do this. We support the players, but we want this team to win. We really want this team to go out there and, and be the best team in the land, and that's what we want. And salute to Leon Rose, the front office, for making these adjustments. We're still financially flexible. We're talking about contracts that we can still move with Fournier's expiring. Talk about the Fournier contract didn't work out with the Knicks in terms of his tenure, but it's come full circle to the point where he's actually valuable for us now in terms of a contract that we can move out. We'll talk about it later in the show in terms of future moves. Got a big podcast dropping tomorrow afternoon with a big guest. And then another big guest on Friday night. We'll be live post-game as well on Thursday as we take on Dallas, right, with Luka, Kyrie, and the crew. But as the chat continues to shout out OG and the Knicks for their huge win. Really happy to see OG showcase more than just his three-point shooting. Rebounding has been great. Gets a couple of offensive boards with his strength, his size, his stature. Like Clyde, and shout out to Gus Johnson on the call tonight. Nice throwback. And those guys were talking about OG's shoulders, man. He's just a beast in terms of stature, and a guy who can guard post-up players. He can also sky for those rebounds as well. Got a steal and got a block as well. And he's a plus 111 in 5 games, plus 26 tonight with 23 points. So we salute to him. Next man up, I want to talk about Jalen Brunson because I love the 7 assists tonight. Plus 29 is huge on a night where he was only 3 of 11 and 1 of 7 from 3, which was something we haven't been used to. Just 14% from deep, but 5 of 6 from the free throw line, excellent. 3 rebounds, decent. 12 points, plus 29. So yeah, he was playing under control. He didn't really try to force it. Just 25 minutes from Brunson tonight, but got the ball moving as well. I thought he forced it more in. It was not the previous game. Might have been the game prior to the previous one. But tonight wasn't it. He was definitely moving the ball much more quicker. Yet defensively had some struggles, but obviously with his plus minus was still effective. B minus for JB tonight. Well, what do you guys want to give for Jalen Brunson? I could have gone a B. Maybe a B minus is a little tough. Apologies there. The software is acting up a little bit. I'm trying to change this grade. But yeah, I thought B minus is fair. So let's keep it moving. But yeah, we'll continue to shout you guys out. What did you see from Brunson? What did you like? Like I said earlier, a guy, a takeaway for me is, we've still got our big 3 in a way. Like OG Anunoby still needs to be consistent offensively, but on any night like tonight, he's proven that we still have a big 3 offensively. And with that said, like I said earlier, it's Batman, Robin, Alfred. It don't make no difference who is the star on any night, as long as these guys are helping each other and playing to their strengths. And that's what we did tonight. We moved the ball well. A team high, a team 26 assists, which was excellent. So Brunson did his job. Yep. And we'll grade the trade as well. Toby says grade trade. It's working great. Look, after 5 games, man, I can't give it nothing but an A right now. A plus. It's still early, but yeah, after 5 games and just the 5 games alone, with the potential of the future that we're going to see, definitely an A plus for me. What do you guys think? As Luke says, OG just 1 turnover in 29 minutes. Absolutely, big time. Dermot says, what do you think the Knicks do with Fournier? My personal thoughts on Fournier are, I think he will get moved prior to the deadline. I do think he'll get moved, and I think it'll be for a significant piece. He's making 17 milli. Obviously, you guys know the names been talked about with Brogdon, with DeJounte Murray. I think we're definitely going to save Fournier's salary for a bigger salaried guy, a bigger move as well. So that's what I think is going to happen. I don't see Fournier getting moved for just a couple of role players, like a couple of bench pieces. Let me sort of elaborate, because Brogdon can still be a bench piece, but probably someone who's a very high level player that's capable of being a starter as well. Not just a guy who's going to play a small role off the bench, but someone significant is what I'm trying to say. So, but yeah, man, that's a luxury that we can have with Brunson not playing that well offensively. Inefficient night, but you don't really notice because it's against a bad team. But we didn't force the issue, and I like the 7 assists as well. And he was at plus 29, in 25 minutes. So big time once again. And shout out to Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Jalen Brunson. Salute for all your hard work this year. Running out of accolades, we're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league because of you. We're in the 4th seed, in part because of you and other guys as well. But yeah, 7 games above 500 now. We're on the right track. That's the main thing. I don't care about the shade people throw, Becky Hammond, this and that, trying to put ceilings on him and us. Forget about that. You know, the beautiful thing about sports are no one knows what the future holds. You know, people try to make a calculated opinion or a calculated guess, but you can't doubt a player that's been like Brunson, who's been doubted his entire life. Here he is, making people eat crow, and he's going to continue to do that as well. He's playing like an all-NBA player right now, and he's playing like an all-star as well. And in my opinion, an all-NBA player and an all-star is good enough to be a lead player on a championship team. It don't matter if he's 6'2". It really don't matter as well. Look at his numbers. You know, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. You know, it don't matter what your height is. Look at this production, right? How many players around the league? You know, show me Kevin Durant's offensive production. He's the lead dog, or one of the lead dogs. Show me Jason Tatum's offensive production as well. They're supposedly a title contender as well. So I think the numbers add up for Jalen Brunson to be a lead guy on a championship team. If his role supporting cast is a guy like Randall, OG Anunoby, and whoever else we get, whoever else we have. So I think that's something that's a narrative that's going to get squashed. I do think so. Vaughn says easy work when the ball is moving. Yeah, I love that. You said it. I think Tom Thibodeau got to be the happiest guy tonight as well, fam. And the chat's popping. I see you, fam. Smash that like button. Anyone new here, appreciate, welcome in. Like and subscribe. We give grades every post game, and we shout you out in the chat. EJ will be back on soon. Prayers up to EJ. He's a bit unwell at the moment. Nothing serious. He's just recovering. So EJ will be back soon. And tomorrow we've got a podcast dropping in the afternoon. Friday night we'll be back with another guest on an off day. And Thursday night post-game live against after the Dallas game as well. Now, next man up is Juju Randle, the other all-star on this team. Let's vote him in. I'll throw the link in the chat once again. But yeah, I love Juju's performance in terms of was able to play just 30 minutes, 31, 7 of 17, 2 of 4 from 3. Great efficiency. 4 of 4 from the free throw line, and 7 boards, 8 assists, 20 points on plus 31. Cool, calm, collected. My thoughts on Randle tonight, his performance. Definitely got fouled, and we'll give the officials their grade later. I thought that key offensive fast break where Randle did seem a little upset after that. He got hit, he got hacked, but he kept his head in the game, stayed with it, got the ball moving. He didn't force it tonight. He could have. You know, this is the Portland Trailblazers, you know. He could have, ate even more and played with his food, but he didn't. And an A+ for me for Julius Randle tonight. Perfect from the free throw line, 50% from 3, 7 boards, 8 assists, and a 20 piece on a plus 31. So team game, that's what it's all about, Juju. And you definitely played a team ball tonight, along with Juju, with JB. And I look moving ahead, Randle now heads back home to Dallas, where he likes to get it popping. He likes to cook in Dallas, guys. So look out for the Julius Randle All-Star Express train, not stopping at any station right now, because he wants to be a third-time All-Star with us in his 5 years. It would be a huge accomplishment. Like I said, on any night, he could be Batman, Robin, Alfred. It don't matter, just whatever the team needs. But the important thing is he's capable of doing it. He's capable of moving the ball quicker now. and shooting more calculated from three, more efficient as well. And a plus 31 team equal high. So shout out to Juju. And I can't forget the gold star as well, as we give that to Jalen Brunson as well. But yeah, chat, what do you guys think about Julius's game? Vaughn says A+. Yep, definitely. Buzzerbeater says, can I get a live stream with a doc to explain why Mitch is always injured? Man, yeah, it's just one of those things. Some of these players are just unfortunately more prone to an injury. But yeah, I feel for Mitch, and also I feel the frustration as well. Not that we're upset at Mitch, but it's the frustration where we want to see this team fully healthy and see its full potential as well. But there is still positivity in opportunity, and we don't see this version of iHeart if Mitch doesn't go down. And speaking of, he is the next man up, because he's taking this opportunity with both arms. Is iHeart, and he's going to get paid. He's outplaying starting big men. 14 rebounds tonight once again, 5 offensive, 5 points, and an equal team high 31 plus. Just 2 turnovers, a block, 3 steals, and 3 assists as well. Found the cutters. That was a common theme early tonight, was the ball player movement and ball movement, but Isaiah was finding them. The cutters, he found OG as well. He found Grimes, he found Hart. We talked about it before, Buzzer, in the chat, about his versatility. iHeart gives us more offensively than Mitch. I still feel like Mitch is the souped up version defensively, with his rim protection, his reach. But you know what? If you need the perfect player to step in Mitch's absence, I mean, we have the perfect guy. And I feel blessed that we have a guy like iHeart here on a valuable contract, and a guy who we have the capabilities of keeping with a new contract extension as well. So look out for that. Hopefully we get an extension done before he even gets to free agency. That would be amazing, in my opinion. So we really do need to lock him up quick, smart. And with that said, I'm going to give iHeart an A for his performance tonight. Efficient, 1 of 1, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 14 rebounds, 5 offensive, and the 3 steals and the 1 block. Team high equal plus 31. So once again, shout out. And what a 5-game stretch this has been. Or, more than 5 games. It's been ever since Mitch went down. But specifically, he's looked even better with OG and Anunoby here now as well, because those two defensively are the kind of anchors you need with our Devo to help mask Randall and some of Brunson's, some of those guys, defensive deficiencies. So definitely a guy who's fitting in well off the ball and with the ball, and a guy who's just rebounding to the likes of his career he's never seen before. So talk about stepping up in a huge way. Now, with that said, now let's look at the big ragu to round out the starting lineup as well. We've given OG Anunoby A+, Jalen Brunson a B-. I gave Randall an A+, and I gave iHeart an A. Now the big ragu stepping in, he was 4 of 9 and 3 of 8 from deep, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 4 boards, 2 assists, got a steal, 13 points, and was a plus 14 as well in just 18 minutes. So didn't get a whole lot of opportunities, but made the most of them, especially with 3 of 8 from deep. Another night, another 38, close to 38% clip. A guy who is the perfect piece in the starting lineup, to complement Randall, Brunson, and OG. And I love the starting 5, like I said earlier. And I think he is a guy who is the perfect fit with them, with his 3-point ball, his ability to shoot it from deep as well. He's not a guy who just needs to be, right up to the corner. He's a guy who can stretch it deep from the elbow. He's a guy who cuts well off ball. He's a guy who gets in passing lanes too. So tonight, Devo set the tone. The first play of the game, he got in the passing lane, got the steal, ran out on the break, and got the jam, fam. And then the very next play, he got the board, kicked it back out, relocated to the corner three, got the ball back, shout out to the kick out, and drained the three. So talk about instant impact from Big Ragu, the first minute of the game, and a guy who I think he's loving now playing with the starting five. The chemistry is there, and he's a guy who's also willing to pass it as well. So he's very unselfish, but he's not hesitant when he needs to shoot it. So salute. What's good? Edward in the building. Marty, salute. Guys, appreciate you. Vaughn, A+. Buzzer's gone with the A. Luke with the A-. Now, for my grade for Devo tonight, very solid. So I'm going to give him a... the steal was an impact moment early. 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 13 points, 38%. Let's move that up to a B+. B+ from DiVincenzo. For his performance, salute. In his role, clicking with the starting five, and I wouldn't change the starting five right now, guys. I would love to get a quality bench piece like a Quickly, who is good enough to come into the starting five if we needed, but is also happy playing with the bench lineup. And I think Malcolm Brogdon, to me, is the name that fits the best. We saw a bit of Brogdon tonight. I can't fully evaluate that performance playing with such a bad team like the Blazers, but his experience, his shooting, his defense, I think would fit really well with this club. But it's tough to sit here and say we should shake up the starting five again. I prefer DiVincenzo's 3-point shooting, over a DeJounte Murray fit. DeJounte Murray's an extremely talented player, needs the ball to create a little bit, can get into the mid-range and operate, also gets in the deflections and gets steals, just like Devo. But he's also a player that's not as efficient from three with the range that DiVincenzo has. So I prefer a Malcolm Brogdon fit, but there are a heap of other names that we could still look at moving ahead. But that's the starting five once again, and it definitely clicked. It delivered. The ball movement was excellent. 26 assists tonight, and most of them came from the starting five, with 8 from Julius, 3 with iHeart, 7 with Brunson, 2 with Devo. Right there. So that's 11, 18. That's 20 assists from your starting five. And bear in mind, most of them only played an average of 25 minutes. So that's something to watch moving ahead. Let's get those assists up. And we're dangerous when the ball is moving. Marty's asking, would you trade Precious Achiuwa for Bol? I'll be open to it. Definitely on the surface. I can't say I've watched a lot of Bol this year. I've seen Bol in the previous years. Hasn't been getting many chances. I need to see more from Precious to make a full decision, but I think, I think it would be an upside swing. I think there would be a nice upside swing. Buzzer Beat is saying the buzz on the street is Randall may get traded during the off-season if he doesn't play well in the playoffs. I wouldn't rule anything out. I think it's certainly a possibility. I don't think it would be a high percentage. I guess it would have to determine how bad, how bad he looked in the playoffs as well. Buzzer's also given Big Ragu a B for that solid grade. Yep. Also, could we wait to the summer, like Buzzer says, in terms of another big move, like Marty's talking about with Donovan Mitchell, with Spider, splitting minutes with Brunson. I want to talk a bit about that more with when I grade Tibbs tonight, because I really think this staggering the lineups is really starting to work. And that's the third game in a row now where the bench has looked quite strong. So that makes sense, definitely. Yeah, Mitchell, that kind of offensive talent. Yeah, you could definitely do worse. You can't. I can't sneeze at a Mitchell Brunson backcourt. If you do stagger the lineups, I think it can work. I think the important thing is, as Tibbs knows, you got rim protection, and you got an athletic defensive wing. And I think with those two on your side, I think you can neutralize any kind of lineup defensively and offensively. And we saw tonight, man, OG Anunoby was just another lockdown night defensively, plus 26. The amount of times I counted where he stopped, he contested on a drive, didn't foul, like bodied the guy up, but was able to contest and force the miss. And the amount of times I saw also OG Anunoby close out well. He had the one bad closeout on the 3 ball where he gave up the foul. But outside of that, he contested every single other shot and did it, a great technique as well, defensively. Yet some other names to look for. I like the name Jordan Clarkson. I like Bones Highland. I still think Bogdanovic could be had from Detroit. Alec Burks as a cheaper option. Yeah, there's a lot of different names we could talk about, guys. But I want to conclude the grades, and then we can start to focus on the road ahead and the buzz that this team is creating right now around the league. But another great story tonight was Quentin Grimes, ladies and gentlemen. His brother was in the city playing in the NHL. We saw the story tonight. That was a cute story from MSG. 15-year pro, Quentin Grimes' brother. I think it might be his stepbrother, but his brother is in the city, played at MSG the other night. Grimes is really starting to love life, I think, post this trade. Another efficient night, 5 of 11, 4 of 9 from 3. Got to the line 3 times, 100%. 4 boards, an assist, 3 steals, just 2 turnovers, and 17 points on +9. So, yeah, man, Q dot really, the value, the potential, all of that is starting to come back, man. Just like a jaded memory that starts to return back to your mind, and you're like, yes, I can remember now. That's the way I feel about Grimes and the potential that I felt that he had last year. Now, yeah, he got more reps on the ball, which was tick. Dribbled it, brought the ball up the court a few times. Still a work in progress with shot creation. But the main thing is that he's going to get the reps. He's still a player developing, and he's still a player that needs the ball, to grow, to develop. And that's what this trade was about as well. He's playing 21 minutes now, solid. Gets 11 shots up. That's great. 9 3 balls. Like the chat said tonight, about talking about Reggie Miller, off-ball movement. He's not at that stage yet, but it's definitely something to aim for. Of course, we know Grimes worked with JJ Redick, and he worked with Penny Hardaway, I think, in the off-season. We're not even at the halfway point in the season, so yeah, promising times ahead for Quentin Grimes. His development is key. Look, if him and Deuce start to, or continue to produce the way they are, maybe we look at other pieces for the bench in terms of another 3, another wing, and we keep Deuce, we keep Grimes at the 2 off the bench, and we look for another killer wing at the 3 or the 4 to play next to Hart. Or, like the chat said with Marty, talking about Precious, maybe trying to upgrade the bench big, maybe try to get an offensive stretch 5, like Bol. But all in all, I think the balance is starting to help these guys. Grimes is another big beneficiary of this trade. He's starting to look really good. The defense has always been great. That's still improving. But the three-point ball is returned, ladies and gentlemen. So that is music to my ears. And with that said, I'm going to give Grimes a B+ for tonight. Shout out in just 20 minutes. Efficient, effective, productive, all of that. So let's keep it buzzing, Q dot, and let's produce on the road in Dallas. That's going to be a great game. It's going to be a really good test for these guys. Coming off 5 straight wins, we can't get complacent. And I definitely want to avenge that bad loss last year in Dallas as well. Now, next man up is Deuce McBride. A similar story to Q dot, where Miles Deuce McBride was efficient, 6 of 13 and 4 of 7 from deep. Got a 16 points with 2 rebounds, 2 turnovers, and a -1 in his 21 minutes. So he played a lot of garbage time in the fourth, so that's what the -1 is attached to. But Deuce McBride was absolutely solid tonight. Getting the 3 ball up with no hesitation. A guy who can stretch the floor now, pull up off the dribble. He's shooting the corner 3 well, which is a feature of this team now. Let's continue to go back to the well with the 3-point ball in the corner. He's really a solid shooter. He never got the opportunity to really show what he can do in terms of, shot attempts. In terms of now 13 shot attempts tonight, with 7 of them from deep. This is the G League version of Miles McBride in terms of him dominating the G League, getting the ball up. Now he's doing it in the big league, but with the defense, he's running the offense. Got 1 assist. Actually, no assist tonight, Deuce, but he had a great night assisting the last game. And he's coming into his own. So continue to watch this space with Deuce. But I'm loving what I'm seeing. He's definitely won that spot over Malachi Flynn. He's the real backup point guard of this club moving forward until subject to any future moves. He has Tibbs's trust. And he's a guy who's going to play team ball. He's going to help get the ball moving as well. He's not going to clog it up. He's going to move the ball to Grimes and get Hart some looks on the break as well. So tonight, B+ again for Miles McBride. My evaluation is solid minutes. It really helped keep control of the game early from the end of the first quarter. The second quarter minutes were excellent. To me, the standout minutes were the second quarter for the bench. Helped us take a 22-point lead at the half. And we continued the momentum in the third, taking a lead 97-61 into the fourth quarter, and are able to rest the starters. We went on a huge 9-0 run in the third. OG was getting deflections, we'll dribble, drive, kick out, as well as the Randall 2-man game with Grimes and Devo. So yeah, as we talk about a bit later about some upgrades, some additions to the bench possibility, these guys are really holding us down, which is great to see. Now, it has been a softer part of the schedule, no doubt about it, but we didn't play with our food, so we dominated, and these guys could rest, in the second part of the second half. Now, Josh Hart tonight, 1 of 4 from the field, missed 2 threes. He was 25 minutes, but 7 boards and 4 assists. Nice. And 3 turnovers, 3 fouls, 2 points, plus 12. So, great night on the glass. Not efficient offensively tonight, but was solid as ever on the glass, skying for the boards and helped the Knicks, command the glass tonight. Just 2 points, quiet night offensively, but plus 12 as well. So, overall, nothing to dwell on with Josh Hart and his minutes. He was solid. So I'm going to give Josh, I'm going to give him a B minus for his efforts. As I bring that up, yep, he'll get a B minus for me from Hart. Again, trusty, reliable with the bench lineup, getting those rebounds, pushing the break as well. He just didn't hit his shots tonight. So that was Josh. And to round out the rotation, Precious Achiuwa, a guy who I'm still curious about. We're still learning. Sort of OG comes in with more knowledge, of his game, but Precious Achiuwa, we need to see him more to evaluate as a Knick. Played a lot of garbage time. He was 1 of 9, missed 0 of 3 from deep, but got us 9 rebounds, 5 of them offensive. Got us an assist and a steal and a block. 2 points as well, -3. So some things I liked. Played hard. He definitely hustled, ran the floor well. Everything you need from a kind of a stretch big, a mobile big. The 3-point shooting is going to be a big swing skill. If he can knock down 1 of 3 from deep, that might be worth exploring with the 3-point shot. But as I keep saying about Precious's fit with the team, he just needs to rebound well, run the floor, be active defensively, get deflections, go for the steals, play under control. We're not gonna expect 10 points out of him every night, but if he's holding us down with the rebounds, 9 tonight, that's good. That helps us win the battle. An assist, a block, and a steal, pretty solid. Obviously, 1 of 9 is not great offensively, but he's not coming in with that game in terms of he's not going to come in and really light it up offensively. So with that said, I'm going to give Precious tonight. I'll give him a C plus for his grade tonight. I love his rebounding and his work rate. But yeah, offensively, it would be good to get more out of that spot. And that might be just where we look at in terms of future upgrades, and needing to give the bench a little bit more of a spark, and versatility. But kind of not really as a throw-in in the trade, but a guy who is useful still for us. A guy we needed another body. We definitely don't want to, we didn't want to keep playing Taj. And we obviously trust Precious Achiuwa more than Taj, because Taj is now, unguaranteed contract has been waived. Tibbs has talked about, one day welcoming Taj in to the coaching staff, which is great. You want to see moving ahead in the future, but I won't be surprised if Precious Achiuwa is still a part of a future trade for the next move. So watch out for that as we continue to evaluate what he provides this club. Now, guys, with Tibbs, with Tom Thibodeau, I love the fact that he's staggering, Brunson and Randall. It obviously makes a heap of sense. But the fact that he's doing it game in, game out now, and helping, assist the bench lineup with Deuce, with Grimes, with another ball-dominant scorer in Brunson or Randall, and OG at times, is working well. So I can't fault Tibbs. We're on a 5-game winning streak right now. We're 7 games over 500. And tonight, so far, a blowout win. I'm going to give Tom Thibodeau an A, I think. Right, he has his doubters, detractors. We'll wait to see what happens in the playoffs, but as we maybe upgrade the roster more. But I think Tibbs has the tools he's been wanting for a hot minute now, in terms of another big man like Ihart, who can help anchor the D. But he's also got that lockdown wing, that point of attack guy who can slow down the other team's best guy. So there's no excuses for Tibbs at the minute, and he's making the most of what we have with this club now. So Luke agrees, coach with the A. Let's get it. And Precious Achiuwa can play the 4 or the 5. Great backup for Randall. Buzzer's gone with the B- for Precious Achiuwa. Salute. And Josh Hart with the B-. Yep, great game overall, ladies and gents. And then finally, the officials. Let's give them their grade tonight. The biggest call that was missed for me was the big hack on Randall. I thought it was blatant. You know, he went straight to the rim for the finish and got hacked and whacked. That was missed. But really, this thing was a blowout. I thought they called it as they saw it. Nothing really egregious that comes to my memory. So I'm going to give the officials a C+ for tonight. And we keep it moving. Once again, welcoming everyone. The streets are buzzing as the New York Knicks closed it out in style. Our defense is back. And as you see before tonight, back up to first in terms of the last 4 games. And we're in a situation now where we're thriving. Back to prior to when Mitch went down. We're giving out game balls to Juju, OG over the previous week. It's been a great stretch. But more so, the pleasing thing is OG Anunoby's offensive display. Took the game ball for me tonight. Welcome in, making records around the league. First 5 games plus 111 with his new team as well. And I bring up his chart on screen. I love it. I love looking at a chart like this where it's corner 3 balls on each side and it's buckets, nothing but buckets in the restricted area. Cutting is on point and spotting up from the corner is excellent. So salute. Buzzer's gone with a B for Tibbs. You said Tibbs left the starters in too long. He did leave, I think, maybe you mean Grimes and OG Anunoby was left in until the 7th minute. But I do believe at the start of the 4th, Randall and Brunson were sitting as well. So, I think that's the best we're going to get from Tibbs. I don't see him sitting the starters in the 3rd. Majority of the starters anyway. But moving ahead, man, I'm super hyped for the OG post New York era Knicks, I meant to say. And now we're looking ahead at Dallas and Memphis with no Ja Morant. Let's bring up, as we vote, let's bring up the standings now. And I will look at the action for tonight as I pull up the Eastern standings on the screen. And we can look at where the Knicks sit and the action from tonight as the New York Knicks, wire-to-wire, huge, comfortable win. And we're enjoying the new year, fam. Undefeated and are moving up in the world. Now 22-15, look at that. So we are sole 4th seed. Half a game ahead of the Heat and the Pacers, the Cavs, all tied on 21-15. The Magic's lost tonight to the Timberwolves, put them down to 21-16, down to the 8th spot. So salute for these Knicks. We've been through the ringer, Mitch's injury, roster construction, tough schedule. The NBA's thrown everything at us, the kitchen sink. And here we sit after 37 games, ladies and gentlemen. We are 22-15 and in 4th seed. So congratulations. That's been a huge accomplishment in my opinion, because I would have signed up for this. Obviously the trade's given us a huge shot in the arm, and it looks to be a stroke of genius from the front office. I can't wait to see what's next as we vote these guys in. The CT, the Knicks are on buzzing on Dallas, says Michael. Yes, sir. Um, Randall's Randall's hometown, homecoming of sorts for Randall. So look out for a huge performance from him. But he was unselfish tonight. 8 assists. I love it. 7 assists from Brunson. OG's time to shine tonight. Now, do I see the standings change much? I think it's going to fluctuate a little bit from here on out, but I don't see the Knicks falling out of the play-in picture, the playoff picture now. I think the Cavs had a quite easy schedule. They played the Wizards twice in their last 3 games. I think once they start to play some more difficult opponents, they're going to eventually slide a bit. And we're talking about a team without Evan Mobley and without Darius Garland as well. So it's been quite an achievement for the Cavs to stay above water. But I tweeted this out yesterday. The Cavs they've flown to Paris. They're about to take on the New Jersey Nets in the Paris game. And then they fly back to the States. Between January 12 and January 22, in those 10 days, the Cavs only play 4 games. So that's an average of 2 days off, rest between each game for 4 games in a row. So that's a really cushy schedule for the Cavs, despite the travel to Paris. I think that might help them a little bit. The Magic looking to make an upgrade. They've got a lot of depth in the backcourt with Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz, Anthony Black. Another name I'm missing. They've got a lot of ball handlers as well. They might look to consolidate. And they are in the Malcolm Brogdon discussions as well. So they need some shooting. Of course, the Indiana Pacers are looking to make an upgrade. They're in talks with the Raptors over Pascal Siakam. So that could be an interesting shot in the arm for Indiana. I think he would be a good fit with Tyrese, with Benedict Mathurin, and Miles Turner. They might have to part with Buddy Hield, Kaysen Wallace. They might have to part with Obi. Could Obi Toppin reunite with Emmanuel Quickley in Portland with RJ Barrett? Imagine that. If the Pacers traded Obi Toppin for Pascal Siakam and Obi reunites, that would be a fun story. But I think the Pacers will look to make an upgrade. The Miami Heat, no doubt, I think will turn on another gear when the playoffs come. But I think the Knicks just have too much depth right now. We have the pieces we need to help defend and lock down the Heat, specifically with the wings, not just OG, but with Hart, with Grimes, with DiVincenzo. We got bodies that we can throw at those teams. And I think we saw it against Philly. We literally just wore them down. Meanwhile, we can make sure Randall and Brunson get their rest on the defensive side and have the juice to show out offensively. While Hart, Grimes, Steve-O, OG, and iHeart take care of business defensively. Now, if they are to do a DeJounte Murray trade, in my opinion, it's going to be a case of defensively. They like that. I think they like that look defensively more than offensively. I think you swap DiVincenzo for DeJounte Murray. Defensively, we become another level scary. We become arguably the best, defensive team on the wing, on the perimeter with OG and DeJounte Murray. You don't really get no better tandem than that. Maybe comparable with Drew Holiday, Derek White out in Boston. So that's something that I think they're really entertaining. Obviously, the asking price from ATL is going to be a key factor. Atlanta did, this is very noteworthy. Atlanta did ask for Quentin Grimes. Last time the Knicks were discussing a trade with the Atlanta Hawks. They were keen on Quentin Grimes, so might be a case of you got to give up to get some again. I'm just not the biggest advocate for that trade. I wouldn't hate it. I think DeJounte Murray's a very talented player. I just really want to see, this starting five, click offensively and look to make a huge bench upgrade. But obviously, if we're talking about a Donovan Mitchell, offensively, that's just too good to pass up. Obviously a guy who can just pull up from three, he can shot create, get to the line, all NBA type guy. I think DeJounte Murray is just that level below, a Spider Mitchell as well. So could the Knicks express patience? Leon Rose has been patient previously, perhaps in the summer, after seeing what this team looks like in a deep playoff run. Perhaps we wait for a Spider Mitchell to force the issue and try to get a cheaper deal, or try to get a deal done where we have more leverage. It's going to be interesting. What do you guys think? Buzzer says Dallas ain't ish. Definitely agree. That's going to be a good test, though. Last time Luka did give us the business. We got to acknowledge that. Luka had 60, but we were a much different team as well. Michael says CT, isn't the Lakers also bidding for Murray? Yep, a lot of teams. But I do think the Lakers are probably looking more at Zach LaVine. They need shooting, fam. The Lakers don't need another dude clogging up the lane. That's the Lakers' issue right now. They're not getting any minutes out of Gabe Vincent. He's been a bust. He's been too injured. LeBron and AD shooting has gone down a notch. D'Angelo Russell, Taurean Prince, Austin Reeves. Yeah, I think they're looking for the stretch shooting of a Zach LaVine or a DeRozan over a DeJounte. I actually think the Lakers are okay defensively. I think offensively they need more. But yeah, they might be in the mix for both of those guys. For me, I would obviously, push Chiwa to the stretch five, Hart either at the 4 and try to get a big wing off the bench upgrade, or try to get another offensive 4 if Grimes isn't going in a deal. Obviously, if Grimes goes in a deal, that opens up a clear spot on with the 2 guard, and getting minutes with them. But yeah, look for these movers and shakers, the Pacers, the Heat, the Cavs, the Magic. I think obviously we go down the mix, man. The Bulls, they're not. The Bulls are not a factor for me. They're going to continue to fight for the play-in spot, so congratulations to them, the Nets. But the Raptors might even find themselves climbing up to get the play-in spot. Also, they're not dead yet, with Quickly and RJ balling out. But in terms of guys trying to make a significant upgrade, I would look at the Magic. The Cavs just got to get healthy. They've got to get Garland and Evan Mobley back, and they might make a little run. But the Pacers are looking to make a huge upgrade. I expect them to make a deal. They're in the kind of win now establishment. The Miami Heat also not getting enough production. But with that said, they might back themselves. Jimmy, Bam, they've been there before. Eric Spoelstra, who just got extended as we speak throughout tonight's live show. The Miami Heat have given a huge bag to Eric Spoelstra now. So congrats to him. We're going to be seeing him more. The Tom Thibodeau, Eric Spoelstra battle is going to continue. Now, as we pull up the results from today's game, let's get it. We've got RJ and Quickly battling the Lakers on the road. We'll peep the box score there, but as we said, the Magic took a big loss. That was great for us. The Kings took care of business. The Knicks stood on business. The Mavs took that L, which was great for our pick. That pick is going to start to get even better, I feel, with every single Mavericks loss. So yeah, not many games tonight. Really, the Magic were the only one in the mix to affect our situation. But yeah, obviously Dallas coming off a huge loss, they're going to want to bounce back. But as Buzzer said, I don't think Dallas are that threat to worry about so much. We obviously need to bring our A game. Memphis now, with no Ja Morant, absolutely reeling from that news. Talk about a disaster of a season in so many different ways. But I think Ja Morant has a bright future with the Grizzlies moving ahead. He just got to get healthy. Every team deals with their issues, their tribulations, trials. Ours is with Mitch, but smart GMing and smart planning has us with backups. We have iHeart. We swung a move for the defensive stopper that we need as well. So it's tough being an executive, and the New York Knicks are pushing the right buttons, fam. I'm happy. I'm buzzing. 4th seed off a great night, and we hit the road. So with that said, guys, yeah, a lot of these names mentioned. Throw out any other names, questions you guys have. Sean says, I like this 3-team trade. Suns can get DeJounte Murray, Fournier or Mitch if we have to, and 1 or 2 of the first-round picks. Knicks can get Devin Booker. Hawks get Grimes and 1 first-round pick. I mean, I wouldn't say no to that, man. Getting Devin Booker in here. Suns get DeJounte Murray, Fournier or Mitch. I don't know if they're doing that. For them to trade Devin Booker, I feel like the Suns would, although they are in a tough situation, no doubt about it, I think they would be looking to hopefully get more out of a Devin Booker deal. And it's still a little bit early for them as well. I feel like the Suns would back themselves to be able to make a run. I mean, they are 8th spot, so they're still, they're still within, well within reach of making the actual playoffs as well. But yeah, they are facing an uphill battle as well. But yeah, I think Devin Booker long term would be a huge fit for us, and no doubt with CAA connections with Leon Rose, those guys have a great relationship as well. That is something to watch in Phoenix, no doubt about it. With the Phoenix struggles, Kevin Durant is aging. Bradley Beal can't stay healthy. Yeah, there's just so many factors, and it just goes to show you why depth is so important in the league. Because yeah, you could have a top-heavy team. If 1 or 2 guys don't produce or they get hurt, you're literally screwed. And just going back to the New York Knicks roster, I think got to give Leon Rose back his credit again, for building a deeper roster in terms of getting DiVincenzo for a mid-level, getting Julius and Brunson on cost control, on value deals. Turning a small salary in quickly and an average salary with RJ into an OG Anunoby. Drafting Quentin Grimes and Deuce McBride and them on rookie contracts as well. So I think the only real issue with Leon Rose has been a couple of draft picks that he's missed. One of them, obviously, with Tyrese Halliburton, as a lot of people did miss out as well. Drafting Obi. I get it. I get the connections there. They trusted Obi to make a big impact. They didn't think Julius Randle was going to be this version. And then the other one is Evan Fournier. But something's telling me that wasn't all of Leon's push. Scott Perry, former general manager and executive with the Knicks, was very high on Evan Fournier, of course, back in Orlando days. So, although Leon did pull the trigger, that might have been more of a Scott Perry move with Evan Fournier. We just don't know. But at the end of the day, it does go against the current front office's account. But look, some GMs, they do strike out, they do make some home runs as well. But moving ahead, it's about rectifying what we needed, and he did that with this trade. Absolute big time performance once again from OG Anunoby. 16 first quarter points, game ball, immaculate performance, A+. Flashed his game, driving to the rim and finishing, overpowering his opponent. Also the spin move was great. And yet to what's to come. He's going to show us a lot more. So with that said, fam, let's get ready to wrap this thing up as we celebrate another big win. Knicks fans celebrate around the world. 7 games over 500 and 5-game winning streak, undefeated this year, right? Now let's go into Dallas. Let's pull off a big win again and beat down Memphis with no Ja Morant. And right now we're buzzing. Smash that like button. Let's vote these all-stars in. Once again, I'll put the link in the chat as Randall and Brunson continue to do work on the season. And the New York Knicks squad is in 4th spot, right? Ahead of the Heat, ahead of the Magic, ahead of the Cavs, and ahead of the Pacers. So let's keep it that way. Hopefully we get this podcast out with this guest. We had some schedule conflicts last week, but we're due to record tomorrow, and I hopefully get that out tomorrow afternoon. And we'll be back post-game live Thursday, and then live Friday night with another guest with EJ. Keep it buzzing, Knicks Nation. Peace, health, happiness, blessings, and take care. And let's go Knicks.